All right, go ahead and raise your hands, and I'll get you the mic.
John, with the offense today coming off of last week, what did you make of their approach today and how that went for them?
Just left guys on. I felt like we had a ton of traffic, against Giolito, and just didn't get the big hit today, unfortunately. Thought we kind of did in the second, to be honest with you, but it felt like we had a lot more going on than you look up and first hit was from Nate on the double, So he pitched out of some jams, and, I don't think it has any correlation going back to the road trip or anything. And, good job by him for navigating some tough spots.
I'm sure you saw everything that happened in that 30 seconds with the Yankees win going into this. How much does that change the importance of these games coming up? Obviously already big, and what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it doesn't change it at all, really. We kind of know it's going to come down to the wire. I think we just got to continue to stay focused on what we have to do rather than anyone else. And you got another tough pitcher tomorrow in Crochet, so you got to come ready and not say woe is me about anything. But every game is going to be important, right? It's nice to be into the postseason, but every game is going to be important. We want to continue to play the way we've been playing.
John, the sequence to George in the second with the foul ball and the strike on the pitch outside. Can you walk us through your read on that?
Sure. It's fair ball down the third base line. I thought it was fair. People in our replay room thought it was fair, and it's not a reviewable play. Sucks. It's 2 runs there, and it's 2-1 game, and again, not why. I don't know if it's why we lost. You know what I mean? Things can change over the course of a game, and it's a borderline call and on a really good hitter. But I think that play is tough. The play in front of the bag that isn't reviewable. I asked Doug if he saw anything different. He said no. So it wasn't even worth getting the crew together. But from my vantage point, from George's, and from replays that we did have, should have been a 2-run double.
Just wondering what you saw from Kevin on the mound today.
I thought Kev was really good, man. I mean, kind of more of the same of what we've been seeing. And, they strung together a couple hits, for the 1 run, and then he's a strike away from getting out of the jam there in the 6th. And he hit a good pitch. It was kind of a couple balls out of the zone, but I thought Kev was the same guy we've seen for the past month or so with his stuff. And that was it. Just kind of ran into some tough luck there in the 6th.
John, you've talked often about this team's ability to come back and its resiliency. Is this the biggest test they've had all year now, being in this situation?
I don't know. Hopefully there's bigger tests ahead, But I don't really see it as a test, I mean, yeah, these games are really important, right? I think that when you've done it quite a bit, it kind of becomes natural to kind of just keep doing that, right? So we know we got 5 games left, and you get a 1-game cushion, right, to try to win the division. So I don't want to say we're playing with house money. We're not, right? The goal is to win the division. But these games are important. They're all going to be important. Everyone knows that. They're playing and preparing as such. And in terms of the biggest test, I think maybe because of where we are in the schedule, sure, but I think that they're really good at moving on to the next thing.
I'm sorry, John, we haven't seen you since there was some roster moves announced. I guess my first question is, what are you looking for from Santander to maybe insert him into the lineup?
Yeah, kind of a weird couple hours there since I talked to you guys. Ty actually hurt himself hitting early on the field with the oblique, and our thought was to activate Tony tomorrow, probably, just in talking to him. So since we had him here, it made sense to try to not play a man short tonight or for a couple days. Tough timing for Ty. He was frustrated. So I think going forward with Tony, I mean, he'll be in the lineup. Whether it's starting, whether it's pinch hitting, whatever it may be. It's a guy that we trust. It's a guy that has, I think, some things to prove a little bit here. He didn't get off to the start he wanted to with this year and the contract that he signed, but we trust him, man. So he's put a lot of work in to get back to this point. So we'll use him as we see fit.
Of course, the other transaction was Alec Manoah was DFA'd. What did he bring to this clubhouse?
Man, it's a tough decision, obviously, right? And going back a few years, Alec has been kind of right in the thick of a lot of things that went really well for us. And I give him all the credit in the world for, working his tail off to get back. And it's tough. He's an infectious guy and pitched a lot of big games for us. And I think right now when we are where we are, tough decisions happen. And, you're trying to kind of just stay present in what can help us right now, right? So he's a guy that, has earned a lot of trust and kind of a roster crunch right now. But he'll land on his feet. I'm sure he will.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, guys.